Namaste, everybody. It's a great joy for me to come again to this residence of Kantilata and Sudam, their son, daughter, and their beautiful circle of friends that all of you are. Yes, for many years we have been getting together like this. Finally, it is all God's play. Somehow He brings us together in goodwill, in mutual trust, in a great amount of regard for each other. I personally do not know how much I deserve all the love and respect you people show me, but whatever it is, that should be less important. Wherever we are, on whatever level of spiritual evolution we are, we need to go further from there. We need to get down to our main business of scriptural study. Yes, this time I have come after a little long gap. Something or the other held me or kept me busy in India. In fact, in the last 3 years, I did not move out of India at all, leave alone this distant USA, not even any nearby neighboring country. But as was rightly said in the introduction by Nanranjanji, now I have become relatively free from a lot of administrative responsibilities, managerial or executive role that I had accepted in Varanasi, perhaps unnecessarily, but another way maybe necessarily. For a lot of things you and I do in life, theoretically sometimes are unnecessary, but in the total scheme of things they are necessary. You got to exhaust some vasanas. You got to clear some prarabdha. That is how the Shastras explain it. So you wonder, oh, why did I have to get into this? I sometimes meet people, many times this has happened. They say to me, oh, you studied in that Chinmaya ashram in Mumbai. You know what? They say with lot of emotion. So you ask what? I had also applied. I had also been selected. In fact, some of them even joined an ashram, spent maybe a few months, and then something happens, and then when they come back again to the spiritual studies or the so-called sadhana, it is 25 years. There are many such cases. Anyway, not to make it any more autobiographical, that would again be moving away from our real business. Let's this evening think a little about the whole or the essential message of the great sages, the rishis. What is the essential Vedanta? As you know, in one of the age-old stories, Nachiketa, perhaps a 14-year-old boy, asked Yama, the Lord of Death, the great question, tell me that truth which is beyond right and wrong. Tell me that truth which is not in the limits of time, past, present, and future. O Lord, if you are able to see something which is not even caught in the framework of cause and effect, please tell me that. That question itself is very elevating. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat, right and wrong. Anyatra asmat, krita akritat. Krita is an effect, and akrita is, by context, the cause. Effect and cause. Think about your life too. Think about this world that you know. Anything and everything is the result of some cause. Look at a tree, it's the result of a seed which slowly became a plant and then a tree. Look at all these youngsters. Just a while ago, you all have seen them, very small. Now they are becoming stronger, bigger, taller. And you and I, who were very strong, very good looking at one time, are now looking very graceful. At one time we were good looking, now we are very graceful. They say, graceful aging. But in all this field of change, there is a cause, then there is an effect, and it is within the realm or within the sphere of time. Nachiketa asks, is there something anyatra bhutacha bhavyacha? Bhuta is atita, the past, and bhavya is bhavishyat, the future. And by implication, the present is also meant. Past, present, and future, these are the divisions of time. And the young boy says, anyatra. Is there something other than these divisions of time, or something that does not belong to these divisions of time? All our discussion, including the introduction to a visiting Swami, is in time. He first came in 93. Now recently he did not come. He has come after 3 years gap, and so on. So 99.9% of what occupies our mind, what engages our talk, is all in the realm of cause and effect, past, present and future, right and wrong, good and bad, and so on. And this young boy, look at the amazing question. He says, is there something which doesn't fall into these categories? All of you know the story. Before he asked that, he had slowly begun to dig into this spiritual realm, and Lord Yama dissuaded him, did very many things to make him ask for something else. Leave aside this spirituality, said Lord Yama. Ask for wonderful material benefits, long life, beautiful house, lot of pleasure, servants to attend on you, so on and so forth. And Nachiketa had rejected it all. In the Kathopanishad, which is from Yajurveda, we have this story of Nachiketa who says, please keep all this dance and music to yourself. Tavaiva vahaha tava nritya gite. Vaha is vahana. All these wonderful chariots and other material gifts that you have offered, tava eva. Let them remain with you. I do not want them. And nritya gite, dance and songs and so on. I am interested in knowing this truth. There is a Nachiketa in every one of us, thank God. We are not all that bad. The only difference perhaps is the Nachiketa in us goes to sleep most of the time. You need to awaken. That is what Kantilata and Sudam Sahoo are trying here, inviting Chidananda. So this is a joint venture. Visiting teacher, some well-meaning friends and themselves all together to dig into these deeper questions of life. For otherwise, all of us are busy with endless other issues, Commenting on Lord Yama's reply, where Lord Yama says, there does exist such a truth. And Lord Yama develops thought very slowly. First he says, there does exist such a truth which you have asked about, and we call it Om. First he says, we call it Om. It's a very wonderful way of answering and then developing it further. Why is it wonderful? Many a time you and I also have some limitation. We are in a hurry or we are very unwell. Our resources are limited, we are exhausted, we are tired. Or suppose you visit somebody who is on his deathbed or her deathbed. Just as getting older is unavoidable, every one of us knows, death also is unavoidable. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu, says Bhagavad Gita. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhirastatra na muhyati, and so on. Death is inevitable, and most of us here, the older people, not the young ones who also have graced this occasion, thank you. The older ones among us already are aware how this uncle passed away last year, that aunt died 2 years ago, somebody in our neighborhood also, right in this Silicon Valley, someone known to us, yes, isn't it? Death is no stranger to us. And imagine you visit someone who is very unwell. That person is not in a position to dwell on some long discourse or recite some 20 shlokas or repeat some mantra 108 times. No. But suppose that person, she or he, is very dear to you, close to you, and what is more, she or he has been part of such satsangs as we are having this evening, has been a part, he has been a part of satsang. So he has a certain background. Then when you go to see her or him, no gender bias here, you are not going to talk about things of the world. she or he is fed up of those things. Nor are you going to just do something mechanical. You would rather want to share something which is of real value. But there are limitations. You once more cannot give a long discourse, right? You cannot say, you see my friend, in chapter 3 Krishna has said this, and chapter 7 Lord has said that, and Ishavasya says this. Then that person is very tired. Someone who is on her last legs, right? Then you should hold her hand and say, Om. What Lord Yama does. Sarve Vedaha Yat Padamamananti. Let me read a couple of mantras here. Many of you have studied Katha Upanishad. When Nachiketa asks, tell me that which is untouched by time, the first reply that Yama gives is this mantra. Sarve Veda Yat Padamamananti Tapansi Sarvani Cha Yadvadanti Yadichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Bravimi Om Ityetat. Om iti etat. Oh my dear boy, the answer to your question is contained in just one syllable, Om. Like in mathematics, a whole lot of issues are resolved and the answer is expressed in just one symbol. Oh, that is epsilon, that is pi, or that is phi, that is omega. Some such word is used. And those in the field know what is meant by that one symbol. And Om is the symbol of all symbols. Alpha and beta, gamma and omega, epsilon and phi, all are included in Om. Next time you take up any of those symbols in your discussion, think of it as a dim corollary of Om. Yama says, Om Ityetat. This Om is very mystical. So this evening, if all of us have gathered here, what is it we are seeking? Om Ityetat. We want to gain Om. We want to be established in Om. And in a unique style indeed, rather than straight away developing further on some elaboration, Lord Yama, in this fascinating portion of the Upanishad, indulges in a little bit of praise of Om. Already while introducing it, he has said, this is what all the Vedas praise. This is what people seek even through their rigorous disciplines. This is what is sought after by those who are into Gurukula Vasa and so on. That is one meaning of Brahmacharya here. He has praised it already, but then he further says, Etadyevaksharam Brahma, Etadyevaksharam Param, Etadyevaksharam Jnatva, Yo Yadichasi, Yo Yadichati Tasya Tat. I need not translate this at all. I remember how Swami Chinmayananda used to say about Sanskrit. When he would read Sanskrit, some mantra, some shloka, and he would look at the audience and suppose some faces are a bit puzzled at Sanskrit. What is all this Sanskrit? We don't understand. This is Greek and Latin to us. Suppose such an expression is there upon.
Yeah, can you please silence all the phones?
Once in some lecture, I myself announced to the audience, none of my job, but we do some paradharma once in a while. My swadharma is to give the spiritual discourse. But I did the job of the organizers. Kindly switch off all your mobiles. And can you believe, after 10 minutes, my mobile started ringing. But today I have turned it off, rather put it into silent mode just now as the car came. But sometimes we forget, it happens. So, Swami Chinmayananji, suppose he is in Orissa and he would find some people slightly embarrassed by Sanskrit. He would say, "Oh, don't worry about Sanskrit. Sanskrit is nothing but your Oriya mispronounced." He would say that. He has said it. And it is so true. It is a humorous way of conveying a truth. It's a humorous way. So it's not exactly mispronunciation. What he means is 90% of the words are in Oriya. Etad aksharam is very much there. Brahma, param and ichha. All these are there in most Indian languages. Yama says, this is the higher, this is the lower. This is the supreme truth, and if one comes to know the secret of Om, then one gets whatever one desires. Some of you may know in recent years a certain book has sold in millions all over the world, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. The book is called The Secret. And that book, I glanced at it only, some of you may have studied more, talks about a certain open secret. If you desire something intensely, strongly, wholeheartedly, it comes true. One of the novelists also, who was that? One South American novelist, I think. He also used that principle in some of his novels.
Wayne Dyer?
No.
Not Wayne Dyer. Who's Alchemist? Who wrote?
Paul
Thank you. Paul Coelho. So Coelho. Paul Coelho. Paul Coelho wrote this book, Alchemist. Don't say this, Swamiji seems to know so much. I know only titles. I take the book and see the title and plan. One day I will read. After 10 days again I lift it. I will read it one day. Again put. I have hardly read any book fully. But I know about some popular books because you see in newsstands at airport, windows and so on. It's a very popular book, and some time back, please permit me to indulge in some digressions. When Omar Abdullah in Jammu and Kashmir became chief minister, the young politician was ecstatic, and right away, even as the news got known to all that he has won the elections, he is going to be the chief minister. His father Farooq Abdullah was the chief minister for many years in the good old days. Then the power went to other hands, and this son also now became, he is presently also chief minister of Jammu and Kashmir in India. He in fact made a reference to this book, and the way he said it was, "Oh, what Paul Coelho said in Alchemist has come true in my life." And journalists asked him, "What did he say?" And Omar said, in that book, Paul Coelho has said what Rhonda Byrne says in the book The Secret, that if you intensely desire something, people may not know it. Sometimes you also do not know in your conscious mind. Your intense desire sometimes is unknown to you also, because there is a upper level and there is a deeper level. If you examine yourself carefully, you will find that all your life you have been pursuing a certain desire and your life has run according to it only. Outwardly you wanted this or that, and somewhere you got, somewhere you did not get. But inwardly there has been a desire, it has shaped your life. So coming back to Omar, he used these words. Kolo in his novel says, when you desire something intensely, the entire world conspires to make it come true. Generally we think this world is all the time against me. This world always makes my plans fail. It foils my attempts. We look at the world as an adversary. But as per this open secret, if you really examine, the entire world conspires to fulfill your desire. And Omar said that has come true. For apparently, as his confession goes, for many years he had deeply desired to become the chief minister of Kashmir, and that day he did become. When I read The Secret a little bit and Coelho's material a little bit, I said, oh my, this exactly resembles what Lord Yama has said in Kathopanishad, Yo yadichati tasya tat. Whatever you desire, you get it. The main question is, have you desired intensely? As Swami Chidananda, to quote him once more, used to say, alas, in the case of most people, their own thoughts cancel each other. Many a time we are so confused, if suddenly God were to come in front of us and ask, tell me, what do you want? God, give me 3 days time, for we are so confused, because so many thoughts arise. And as I said a while ago, a certain deep desire has been shaping our life, but we are not aware of it sometimes. Consciously we are not aware, because we are aware only of certain manifestations it has taken. For example, somebody says, I want to make a lot of money, maybe. And possibly, what I mean by superficial and deeper is this. If this man or woman examines carefully, quite possibly it is not money that he actually has been desiring. That is how he has verbalized it. When friends asked him, or even his own spouse asked him, what is it you want? I want a lot of money, he might have said. But if he examines, basically he might have wanted recognition. And so far his mind connected money with recognition. If I have money, people will accept me. People will respect me. Perhaps he wanted more respect. I don't mind a bit of almost a confession of speakers like me. We think that we are headlong into Brahman. We want to realize, we want moksha. But upon deep examination we find, many of us find that, oh my, I really have not sought Brahman intensely, exclusively. We ourselves would not be aware. We have more or less sought Brahman, moksha, liberation, but when we look into our heart, we find that more than truth itself, we have sought to be good speakers on truth. So we end up as speakers. Yo yadichati tasya tat. Examine your desire again. If you had really desired the truth itself, you will get truth. But if you desire something about truth, you will get that. If you really wanted power, you will get power. But you see a powerful person